Okay, y'all, you can see from my time on the bottom right here that's currently 9:32 a.m. I just woke up and I know 6 hours ago the new character has been revealed for Skullgirls. However, I have not seen it yet. No, I have not seen any trailers, I have not seen any images. I did not open Twitter or Discord, so I literally don't know who it is. But it's got to be Marie, right? so I'm trying to find the video here in the Twitch video, and yeah, let's see where it is. Okay, I finally found it, the Skullgirls exhibition. I think this is a showcase of Black Dahlia. Why is there no sound?
Was way back in 2015 when we were working on Skullgirls Mobile, and beyond kind of minor quality of life updates, there weren't any kind of major future updates planned. We had actually started working on Skullgirls Mobile at Hidden Variable in 2014, 2015, and we finally launched in 2017, and we were slowly releasing sets of characters based on the original roster over the years. When we decided to start working on Annie in 2020, it had been 5 years since a new character had launched in Second Encore, but Skullgirls Mobile had been going strong, and the players were hungry for new content. So we built Annie with Skullgirls Mobile in mind first, in part because building a character for mobile was a little bit less asset heavy, so it was a little bit less overhead. It was a little bit of an experiment because we'd obviously been leveraging the existing roster of characters from Second Encore, but we were always hopeful that we'd be able to then go through and bring Annie from Skullgirls Mobile into Second Encore, kind of a reverse porting of how we've been doing it prior. One of the things that's really interesting and fortunate for us in terms of our pipeline is that Skullgirls Mobile is built off the exact same engine that we have for Skullgirls Second Encore. So basically in mobile, even though there are fewer moves and things along those lines and things are a little bit simplified, you are still effectively just providing different inputs to trigger a very similar animation tree. So when you're building a character with Second Encore in mind, or if you're building a character with Skullgirls Mobile in mind, it is relatively straightforward for us to go through and then port that experience over to the other platform. The whole character development process is pretty highly collaborative between Hidden Variable, Future Club, and obviously the community as a whole. I think although Hidden Variable is the lead developer and predominantly responsible for design and engineering, Future Club is responsible for almost all the art and animation, while also providing a ton of design and creative support as well. But predominantly, Future Club is responsible for helping out on the Second Encore side, and Hidden Variable handles all the stuff that's needed for Skullgirls Mobile.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's actually a really unique process, I think, in terms of the way fighting game characters are developed, where rather than having someone with a really, really specific vision for a character, we'll start with sort of like a broad idea of a character. We revisit those concepts and then discuss as both teams, regardless of whether they're artists or designers, like regardless of discipline. And we'll have a meeting where everybody just throws ideas out there to see like what we might expect a character to do, both gameplay wise and just sort of personality wise. The designers, both on Hidden Variable side and Future Club side, will convene and try to like make sense of the chaos, just lay out all the ideas on the table and distill it down to like the core ideas of what we want to focus on and what direction we want to take the character. And then we'll kind of toss it back to both teams, where then it's open season for everybody to do concepts. Either artists will do 2 or 3 weeks of concepts. That ends up becoming just a whole collection of concepts that we can choose from, and then the designers sit down and like try to assemble a character's kit and like what move can we use for this one grinder that we want to showcase.
I think one of the most exciting parts of that is that openness allows us to go through and test boundaries. We'll obviously find a lot of stuff that we think is really cool, but we'll also find a lot of stuff that we feel, actually, it doesn't quite fit the character for this reason. And then the exercise of us trying to articulate why that doesn't work, either from a gameplay perspective, or actually that's like, the character isn't quite that sadistic. It's a little bit more like this, or, the way in which the character actually is going to go through manifest through animation starts to, come to light. We're able to start to set boundaries for ourselves and really hone in on what makes that character unique and special and distinct, just by virtue of going through and having this wide swath of ideas that are originally brought up. And then all the talented artists over at Future Club will go off and just start coming up with all sorts of crazy ideas.
Being such a collaborative process, we end up having this like really tightly unified vision between the two teams of what the character feels like and how they should play.
So Skullgirls Mobile is a kind of a fighting RPG on mobile. The intent was to go through and capture the essence of a more complex fighting game like Skullgirls Second Encore, but make it more accessible for folks through mobile native inputs. So using taps and swipes and whatnot, as opposed to virtual thumbsticks and things along those lines. One of the ways in which we look to go through and capture the core essence of a character in Skullgirls Mobile is through something called the character ability. And every character has something that's a little bit different in that regard. So for example, Big Band in Second Encore has a number of moves that include armor, which enables them to go through and absorb different hits when going through and starting combos and things along those lines. So in Skullgirls Mobile, because we don't have as many moves, we ultimately just built into armor into Big Band's dash attack, which inherently kind of gives him this rushdown quality that is able to kind of generally capture the feeling of going through and playing Big Band in Second Encore. When we're building a brand new character, obviously for Second Encore in general, what is the unique mechanic that this character brings to the table? How are they going to feel differentiated from the rest of the roster is obviously an important question. Thinking about ways in which that can be distilled in a way that it'll be able to work for Skullgirls Mobile is a unique challenge there as well. So for Annie, for example, obviously given her kind of magical girl theme, we decided to build this notion of her kind of star power install, which effectively is a meter that can be built in Skullgirls Mobile, and then you can go through and fire it off and she'll enter this new state that intrinsically powers up a lot of her additional moves. That kind of really captures the essence of what it is we're looking to go through and do in Skullgirls Mobile. You have all these new nuances that come with these moves that have different states depending on whether you're in star power mode or not, but it doesn't require a lot of new kind of finger twister in order to be able to go through and access that functionality. So it's really easy for people to kind of discover that stuff and then slowly figure out the nuances along the way without this really high barrier for entry. Obviously, the functionality for that in Skullgirls Second Encore is very different in terms of how you trigger it through the blockbuster system and everything else as well. But it's just one example of different ways in which we try to go through and think about what is the core identity of this character.
Like honestly, Annie might not be the best character, but her design is solid.
Skullgirls Second Encore at the same time.
The concept is cool. It's just not meta.
Each of the characters goes through this process where we do the roughs first. I'll get the rough animations in-game as soon as possible so we can tune them and make sure we don't need any extra frames or identify frames that we want to cut. That really helps reduce inefficiencies in the back end of the pipeline, where once the roughs are done, we send them off to get them tied down and the lines cleaned up. As the character's taking shape and the character is put out in what we call alpha for season pass holders, the community gets their hands on the
Dahlia 6
we get a ton of really, really good feedback.
Umbrella is kind of a character of contrast. She's this cute, playful, temperamental little girl combined with this horrific Lovecraftian monster, which in many ways is kind of a microcosm of the thematic mashups that make Skullgirls so unique and charming.
Umbrella was sort of the first character where we had, hit the ground running. That was the first time that we were fully collaborating from 0 to 100 on a single character. With that in mind, as Umbrella went into alpha, it was really exciting because she had such a unique mechanic with her hunger meter, like her Umbrella Hungern, which is a wicked, insatiably hungry monster that she carries around with her best friend. Having that mechanic and working out exactly the rate at which the hunger built and whether or not even the UI meter for that made sense, whether it depleted or increased or getting that feedback from the community became integral to that aspect of the character's development. Being able to use that alpha period to get the character into players' hands and get that feedback immediately and make sure that, we didn't have to go with our gut in one direction and just hope that people got it the way that we considered it. But having that secondary perspective from the community inform sort of how the character is being received and how the mechanic is working was a really great learning experience, and also ultimately ended up making Umbrella into a better character. It's in the game. For Dahlia, the most common recurring theme that came up in our initial brainstorming conversations was doing something related to her gun's ammo. Since she has a giant grenade launcher mounted on her arm, which is visible ammunition, we talked a lot about how loading and firing her ammo would work. Once we had concepts come in showing different types of ammo, like everything from an incendiary round to shooting out a giant spear that impales you into the nearest wall, we decided to explore different ammo types as one of her main mechanics. Since it was pretty clear early on from the way her gun operates and presents itself that she was going to need to reload her gun regardless, there were so many cool ammo types, so it was just hard to choose a limited amount. We ended up choosing quite a few of them while exploring mechanics to facilitate her using a wide variety of these ammo types instead of just picking the same ammo type over and over.
I think one of the things that's interesting that we've been figuring out over the course of the alpha process is just kind of how much agency you as a player have over the type of ammo that you load and use. How much of that is intentional versus how much of it is kind of RNG based, and you have to find a way to kind of leverage whatever ammo fate deals you as a means of going through and mastering the character as a whole. So that's one of those things that in a traditional fighting game development scenario, you might just have to go through and make a call, and maybe you guessed right, maybe you guessed wrong in terms of what the community would ultimately respond to best, and what finds that sweet spot between being really fun and accessible, while at the same time being really interesting and nuanced for advanced competitive level play. But thankfully, because we have such an active and engaged community, they let us know right away as soon as they get a chance to go through and play with it.
With each of these characters, we sort of approach their gameplay direction in terms of like what gaps do these characters fill. That's one of the core challenges of any of these characters. And one thing I think we're excited about for Dahlia is giving her like this movement option that feels unique to her. She can do this onslaught. It's kind of like an arcing air dash in midair and from the ground, but it gives her kind of this unique approach angle that not many or no one really in the cast has. Building her move set around that and how she can use that to pressure opponents while also using it in conjunction with how her gun functions was sort of the main goal.
At Combo Breaker, we actually had an exhibition between Sonic Fox and Pen, who came in and played Dahlia for the very, very first time. They were at our booth for the entirety of the day and then had a showdown later on that evening. It was just amazing to see all the different things they were able to go through and pick up in such a short period of time, even with an extremely limited kit. Now that Dahlia has way more stuff in her kit, and both Sonic and Pen have had more than 6 hours to go through and spend with her, we're really excited to see what kind of madness they'll come up with in their run back at EVO today. One of the first things that we do when we're kind of figuring out our schedule for a character is how do we get them to alpha as quickly as humanly possible? And for us, alpha basically means all of the core functional stuff that's needed for a character to go through and operate, really basic hit reactions, all of the movement animations, some basic normals and juggles and things along those lines. The character development process kind of doesn't start until you're actually at an alpha point. And we can all go through and play it internally, but then also with Skullgirls, we take it one step further and we go ahead and we make that alpha version of the character available to the public. So while we're continuing to go through and refine the character, tuning them functionally, adding in new animations, the player base is able to actually go through and experience the current state of the character along with us. And we're able to see how they go through and react to changes to how our normals behave. When we add a new special, we add a new super. As we drip feed each of those new features, because a lot of those players are so eager to go through and basically take that, whatever the new hotness is, and figure out all the cool ways in which they can go through and apply it, you can kind of watch the community's knowledge and understanding of that character's kit grow organically as each new ingredient is ultimately added, which is really cool and exciting. That community-centric iteration and tuning process is something that's super, super important for the Skullgirls Second Encore development process, and it's something we've also taken to heart for Skullgirls Mobile as well. Players will not hold back. When they know that you're listening and they know the developers take that feedback to heart, they will tell you exactly the kind of information that you need to know so you can make the right informed decisions to ultimately create the best character possible. The characters would not be who they are today were it not for all the time and effort that the community's put into playing those characters, sharing their thoughts, sharing videos, engaging in impassioned debates on Discord and on the forums and whatnot. We literally couldn't do it without them. So it's one of the best parts of developing characters in Skullgirls listed community. It's been crazy to think that it's been 10 years since the original Skullgirls launched and 5 years since Skullgirls Mobile launched. We certainly wouldn't be here today were it not for the tireless support from everyone in the Skullgirls community. It's only because of everyone's passion and dedication to supporting each other and supporting the game that we even have the opportunity to go through and create all of these amazing new characters. The best is yet to come. Thank you so much. We couldn't have done it without you.
Oh, that was so good. I'm definitely gonna have to cut some of those edits.
It's time.
It's really, really long.
It's time.
Oh wait, is it time?
Skullgirls time! Welcome to EVO2022, and you are about to see the conclusion of an amazing Skullgirls Friday. Man, oh man, we've got so much for you to kill. We've got reveals, we've got exhibitions, and we've got a top 8.
Oh, this is the Black Dahlia fight
we're gonna
between
run back the
Sonic
exhibition
Fox
from
and
Combo
Pen.
Breaker, a Dahlia mirror match.
I want everyone in the arena here to go get ready.
Okay, let's
Munoz,
skip
how
this
did
bit.
Stuff, good stuff. Can't wait for this character to come out.
All right, pretty.
Don't go nowhere.
Don't go anywhere.
Wait. Oh, it's just a trailer. Okay. I swear it has to be Marie, right? She has to be the new character. Oh, it's so somber.
Patricia, you shouldn't be here.
Marie! Best friends forever!
Wait, what? Whoa, wait, is this a new character? Oh, shoot! See, I knew it was Marie. Wait, that came out of the blue. I thought it was just a random trailer. Alright, now that we know it's Marie, let's look at the Twitter and see the official announcement. Maybe it's in mobile? Okay, it's not on mobile. Okay, so it's just a retelling of the trailer. Anything else? Nope, that's it. Oh, this was such a good trailer though. I didn't expect it to be a character reveal trailer because I skipped a bit of the announcement. But yeah, so apparently it's Marie. Okay, I think that's it. No more news here. Oh, that was cool. Excited to see how she plays out. Is she gonna be full Skullgirls mode, or is she gonna come with like just a vacuum cleaner? Because that's like her weapon of choice, right? It does say like a shard still burns brightly, so she'll probably have some Skullgirl-esque moves, but it's not gonna be like the boss fight in Second Encore, I feel, which is like her sprite being like super huge. But anyway, that's gonna be it for this video. It's just a small recap of what happened yesterday, last night, while I was asleep. And for those of you who were also asleep, hopefully you found this informational for Skullgirls and future news. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.